Hey, it's Mark Lanier with your video thought for the day. Well, all right, today's Friday. Next Wednesday is Christmas. That means we've only got time for a few more Christmas carols. And by the way, when we hit Christmas, that's actually the evening of Christmas, I think, is the start of Hanukkah. So we're going to get some Hanukkah messages coming up next. But I have time to give you a couple of more Christmas carols before we roll into Hanukkah. So let's look at one today that is a true story and in some ways isn't that much of a Christmas carol. And I readily confess there are times where I've thought I just really don't care for this, but it's got kind of this snatchy little melody that either you like or you don't. It's Good King Wenceslas, as I'm sure you realize from the title of this video. Now, most Christmas carols focus on the nativity scene, shepherds, angels, the baby Jesus. But Good King Wenceslas actually tells a completely different story. It's set on what's called St. Stephen's Day, which is December 26th, the day after Christmas. And it's a carol about what happens when the Christmas spirit moves from celebration to action. And remarkably, it's based on a true story that allegedly changed a nation. See, Wenceslas, it starts out that Good King Wenceslas looked down on the feast of Stephen. Wenceslas wasn't actually a king. He was a Duke of Bohemia in the early 10th century, the early 900s. His real name was like Vaclav or something like that. He was born into nobility. He was taught Christian values by his grandmother, Saint Ludmilla, and he only ruled as Duke from 921 to 935, but his legacy of compassionate leadership was so powerful that the Holy Roman Emperor Otto I posthumously gave him the title of king after he was dead. So the carol's written much later. It's written in the 1850s sometime by John Mason Neale. And he set his words to a melody that dates back to the 1200s. If this teaches us anything in this carol, it teaches us three things I'd like to give you real quick before this is over. First, leadership can come through service. First, see that this king, Duke, doesn't send servants to help the poor man. He actually goes himself. He trudges through deep snow, and it mirrors the teaching that Jesus gave in Mark 10:45, where Jesus said, even the Son of Man, Jesus himself, did not come to be served, but to serve. Wenceslas understood true leadership means getting your feet cold and wet in service to others. Point two, there's a power in example here. See, the page, the servant, follows in the king's footsteps, literally, in the song. And when he's about to give up in the cold, the king tells him, just walk in my warm footprints in the snow. It's a beautiful example of discipleship. Peter wrote in 1 Peter 2:21, Christ suffered for you, leaving you an example that you should follow in his steps. Brings me to my third point. Timing matters. Consider when the story takes place. It's the day after Christmas. Everyone else is recovering from feasting, but Wenceslas is out serving. And this reminds me of the importance of godly charity, that it's not just for special occasions. James 2:16 challenges everyone, says, if you say to someone in need, go in peace, be warm and filled, that doesn't do anything to really help them meet their needs. So this Christmas season, I want to apply the lesson of Good King Wenceslas, even if I don't listen too much to the song. Look for someone in need, not just on Christmas, but even in the days after the celebration fades. Make Christmas spirit tangible. Change the world for other people. Make a faith walk that other people can step into. It's the reason I've made this your video thought for today.